and my kids, two of my kids are dead. What do I gotta do? They dead. She left them dead in the house by themselves.
There exist within our world two opposing forces, darkness and light. Alongside humanity's pursuit of peace lies an ever-lingering shadow of malice. And in our quest for justice, we encounter souls trapped in anguish. Such a tale unfolded on a fateful night in Atlanta, where tranquility met torment in a mother's embrace. For it is often from those closest that danger strikes, and innocence falls prey to demons near. A warm summer night fell upon the bustling streets of Atlanta, Georgia. As the moon rose over the skyline, a calm stillness settled across one of its leafy suburbs. Within the walls of humble homes, families cradled sleep, sheltered in trust from perils hidden in plain sight. Little did they know that shadows concealed a darkness soon to emerge, shattering the quiet with an act so malign it would stain their lives forever. For while peace reigned outside, inside one residence a silent storm was brewing, and its first victim, an innocent soul merely beginning her journey, would never see the dawn. Hello guys, and welcome back to Crimeco, where we break down some of the most chilling true crime cases from every corner of the world, providing you with the most recent and in-depth information. If this sparks your interest, we would be delighted if you could subscribe to the channel. Also, giving this video a like significantly supports the channel's growth. We appreciate your help. Now, grab a blanket to hide behind, and let's dive into today's interesting case. Unaware of the nightmare unfolding nearby, residents slumbered on as night's veil descended. Among them lived Lamora Williams, a 24-year-old mother raising her children without support. Years of untreated struggles weighed heavy on her mind. Within Lamora's modest home on Howell Place, 3 toddlers dreamed sweet dreams. Eldest Jamil shivered under thin sheets, while brothers Keont and J. Carter snuggled close in their crib. Unbeknownst to the sleeping babe, he clung not to stuffed toys, but to his final moments of innocence. For down the hall, a darkness seethed within their caretaker, a tempest of anguish and psychosis dragging Lamora into an abyss. And as midnight shadows stretched across fractured thoughts, depravity took hold where mercy once abided. Hissed whispers summoned demons dancing on the edge of reason. Their poison seeped into Lamora's muddled mind, drowning out her son's tender plea. Lost was any mother's love or care, restrained the hands meant to protect, not destroy. Instead, a terror unleashed would damn 2 souls to dwell in hell that night. Lamora Williams lived with her 3 young sons in a small apartment complex in College Park, Georgia. College Park is a suburb just south of bustling Atlanta, home to busy Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. Nearly 15,000 residents make up this diverse, working-class community. Lamora herself struggled through a difficult upbringing. From a young age, she displayed learning disabilities and signs of developmental impairments. Her mother, Brenda Williams, sensed something was off with Lamora academically and socially. She seemed disengaged at school and had trouble grasping basic concepts. Lamora was eventually pulled from traditional schooling and homeschooled instead. But Lamora's cognitive issues persisted, keeping her isolated from peers. As she grew older, family members noted Lamora's unusual behaviors. Her younger sister, Tabitha, recalled how Lamora would randomly decapitate her dolls as a child. One time, Tabitha discovered Lamora trying to cut her own wrists with a kitchen knife. Still, Lamora found purpose when she became pregnant at 18 with her first child, a daughter. Although that relationship quickly ended, her ex-boyfriend's supportive family stepped in to help care for the baby. This allowed Lamora to continue pursuing her passion for nursing. Soon after, Lamora met Jamil Penn, the father of her next 3 children. Though the couple never married, Lamora moved into Jamil's apartment to begin raising a family together. Their oldest son, Jamil Jr., was born in 2011. followed by Keont in 2014 and Jakarta in 2015. But with 4 young kids to manage mostly alone, Lamora struggled. Her mental health deteriorated and violent mood swings emerged, according to her mother, Brenda. Lamora refused any diagnosis or treatment, leading to greater instability. Her relationship with Jamil eventually crumbled under the strain in 2017, though he continued supporting the family financially. With Jamil gone and her father's recent death further weighing emotionally, Lamora descended into a dark spiral of depression and psychosis. Relatives feared she was no longer properly caring for or supervising her children, but no one could have predicted just how far Lamora's sanity was unraveling. Lamora's fabricated story quickly unraveled under police questioning. Once officers arrived at the grisly scene that Friday night, gaps and inconsistencies emerged in her claims. Lamora initially tried pinning blame on a cousin who was supposedly babysitting while she worked, but no signs of forced entry or struggle appeared in the home. Neighbors also reported seeing no other adults with the boys that day, and the extensive thermal damage inflicted could have only resulted from prolonged exposure to intense heat. Authorities now suspect Lamora spent that fateful Thursday alone with her sons inside the family's apartment. Sometime during the late morning or early afternoon, she forced the young toddlers Keont and Jakarta into the oven. Lamora then turned the oven on high heat and left the boys trapped inside for an agonizing period of time. Exactly what drove a mother to commit such a horrific act remains a mystery. But details of Lamora's lifelong mental health struggles may provide some insights. Lamora displayed developmental delays and unstable behavior from a very young age, according to family members. As a child, she decapitated dolls and talked of harming herself. Lamora later became prone to violent outbursts and debilitating depression. Her father's death in 2014 seemed to trigger a further decline in her already fragile mental state. Relatives expressed growing concerns over Lamora's ability to safely care for her 4 young children. Her mother, Brenda, unsuccessfully sought custody assistance from authorities.
I did tell defects everything because I wanted for them to either to give me the kids or get the kids out of her.
In the lead up to the fatal event, Lamora was reportedly overwhelmed, non-compliant with medication, and refusing psychological help. Her deteriorating condition created an environment primed for tragedy. While mental illness cannot justify her abhorrent actions, it may provide a glimpse into Lamora's distorted state of mind. Her psychology will likely play a key role as authorities piece together the chain of events leading up to an unthinkable crime. When Lamora finally called 911 late that Thursday night, her tone wavered between panicked and eerily calm. She seemed obsessed with dodging any blame, despite claiming to have just found her babies burned to death inside the oven. When I came in, the stove was laying on my youngest son's head, and my other son was laid out on the floor with his brains laid out, Lamora told the dispatcher. I don't know what to do. I just came home from work to this. When asked for the address, Lamora grew more evasive and repeated, I don't want to get locked up because this is not my fault. I just came home from work.
I understand that, but can you please help me? Can you please tell me, I don't want to get locked up because this is not my fault. I had just came home from work.
But officers arriving on scene found no trace of an oven explosion as she described. Instead, the oven contained only the boys' severely charred bodies, the result of prolonged direct heat exposure. The medical examiner concluded the traumatic injuries occurred over an extensive time frame in temperatures exceeding 400 degrees. The cause of death was listed as violence of undermined origin. While the examiner could not conclusively determine if the toddlers were alive and conscious when placed inside, authorities believe their deaths were no accident. Lamora likely murdered Keont and Jakarta before stuffing them in the oven to cover her crime. When their father, Jamil Penn, made a frantic 911, Call that same night, the scope of Lamora's lies came into focus. Jamil explained that Lamora had just video chatted him from the apartment, casually showing him the boys' lifeless bodies just feet away.
I just received a call from my child's mother that two of my youngest two dead babies, my sons, are dead in his apartment.
Lamora displayed minimal emotion upon discovering her murdered babies, other than her own fear of imprisonment. Family members have long insisted Lamora displayed signs of severe psychiatric illness from childhood. Her sister, Tabitha Hollingsworth, described Lamora as seeming possessed and unstable for years. She routinely left her children home alone and had even attempted to cut her wrists, Tabitha disclosed. Their mother, Brenda Williams, had unsuccessfully tried getting custody assistance from social services shortly before the murders. Brenda revealed her daughter had significant developmental delays early on. As a toddler, Lamora was abnormally disengaged and slow at meeting cognitive milestones. Brenda eventually pulled Lamora out of traditional schooling due to her learning difficulties. Even under homeschooling, Lamora struggled to grasp basic academic concepts. As she entered adolescence, more alarming behaviors emerged. Lamora decapitated dolls and spoke about self-harm from a young age. She later isolated herself socially and became quick to aggression. But Lamora never received a definitive clinical diagnosis or consistent treatment. Her family's pleas for psychiatric intervention went unheeded. In the months leading up to the fatal events, Lamora's mental stability deteriorated rapidly according to loved ones. She displayed extreme mood swings, refusal to take medication, and suicidal thoughts. Lamora also made dangerous decisions like leaving her toddlers home alone, unattended. Her mother unsuccessfully tried gaining emergency custody from social services shortly before the murders. While Lamora's mental health history doesn't justify her crimes, it provides critical context to this tragedy. If she stands trial, evaluations will determine whether Lamora is fit to face prosecution or requires hospitalization. Lamora Williams remains jailed as she awaits trial on murder and cruelty charges for her two young sons. In February 2018, a grand jury indicted Lamora on 2 counts of felony murder, 2 counts of first-degree child cruelty, 1 count of making false statements, and 1 count of concealing a death. She also faces an additional count of child cruelty for endangering the life of her oldest son, 5-year-old Jamil Jr. He was present in the home, but unharmed when police arrived on the disturbing scene.
While he was watching whatever was going on in this house, and he came and talked to me and told me exactly what was going on. That baby seen everything.
Lamora has pleaded not guilty to all charges. She continues being held without bond in Fulton County, Georgia, as the case makes its way through the justice system. Legal experts say prosecutors face the challenge of conclusively proving Lamora murdered her toddlers instead of just severely neglecting them. The advanced state of the boys' burns made the official cause and manner of death difficult to determine. But the multiple inconsistencies in Lamora's statements and timeline of events should act as key evidence against her. Prosecutors will also likely introduce Lamora's history of mental health issues and instability. Her family has publicly stated they warned authorities multiple times that Lamora posed a threat to her children. If convicted at trial, Lamora could potentially face life imprisonment or even the death penalty. The boy's grieving father, Jamil Penn Sr., is actively seeking custody of the couple's surviving son, Jamil Jr. Jamil has set up a GoFundMe page to assist with legal and burial costs as the family struggles to heal from enormous loss. 2 beloved children are gone forever, their innocent lives extinguished too soon. But justice continues pushing forward to hold a mother accountable for unthinkable violence erupting within her own home. In the aftermath, family members are left shattered, forever changed by Lamora's violent rampage. I will never see my 2 youngest sons again, the boy's grief-stricken father Jamil posted online. All because of mental illness. Mourners continue leaving messages honoring Kiant and Jakarta's tragically short lives. Makeshift memorials of stuffed animals, candles, and photos surround the boy's home, offering comfort to a grieving community. The children's father, Jamil Penn, also opened a GoFundMe account to assist with burial costs for his sons. He wrote emotionally, "Jamil Jr. and London will never get to see their brothers again. I will never see my 2 youngest sons again, all because of mental illness." Donations poured in from locals shocked by the boy's horrendous deaths. Several funeral homes even stepped up to provide their services pro bono for the cash-strapped family. On a GoFundMe page raising additional funds for surviving son Jamil Jr., his father expressed gratitude for the outpouring of support after such devastating loss. "We appreciate everyone for your kind words and condolences regarding Kiant and Jakarta," Jamil wrote. "I truly believe the Lord is working through each and every one of you." As the community rallies around Jamil Sr. and his children, they also demand justice for the defenseless young victims. Many have called for Lamora to face severe punishment if jurors convict her of murder. The tragic case also amplified concerns over lapses by social services and mental health providers that may have enabled Lamora's violence. Outrage remains that no intervention occurred despite relatives' urgent warnings. While Kiant and Jakarta's lives were cut painfully short, their lasting legacy shines as a reminder for society to protect its most vulnerable. Their names join a tragic list of innocents lost from abuse and neglect. Though gone from this world, the 2 angelic boys live on in the hearts of all who vowed to value children's lives and well-being above all else. May Lamora's tragic tale remind there, but for divine grace, go any struggling with forces beyond mortal ken. And may its lessons light the long road to establishing compassion where madness once ran unchecked, so further needless tragedies become preventable rather than inevitable in a world charging headlong to answer conscience's call. Such would honor best the innocent lives cut down before their rightful time. And so concludes another chilling chapter in the annals of history's gruesome crimes. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive to honor 2 young lives that were cut too short, and to reflect on the justice her family fought tirelessly to achieve in her case. Before you leave, please remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell. This will ensure you stay informed about the latest true crime cases we uncover. We're grateful to have you as part of our community as we explore the captivating mysteries that continue to fascinate us all. Stay curious and vigilant that even closed books still hold untold pages waiting patient revelation. We eagerly anticipate seeing you in our next exploration. Thanks for watching. Until next time.